Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a biological recording device, and it isn't the government's. It isn't. Well, in a weird way it is, but it's the gray aliens. And they have Bigfoot down here for a period of time. That's why you never see the bodies. You know, they're down here for a period of time, and they're a biological recording device, recording environmental stuff, and then they're brought back up onto the ship to download that information. But the Bigfoot is biological, definitely. But as I'm a scientist, I'm a Bigfoot researcher. I'm president of the Bigfoot community. I can tell you for a fact. Believe me. Why would I lie to you? I'm the president. I'm the president of the Bigfoot community. I would not lie to you. Okay? Now listen to me. Birds are real, and they aren't drones. Okay? And when you see baby birds on the ground right now, just sort of keep walking. You see them, like robins, for instance, like they'll be on the ground for 2-3 days eating bugs. The parents will be around and be feeding them too, and they'll start flying up. But that's the life of a bird. So when you see a baby bird on the ground, just keep walking, wish it luck. If it's in the middle of a road, move it and put it to the side. Okay? Don't think that the parents aren't around. The parents are around. Leave it alone. You're not helping, okay? Stop thinking that you're going to help or you want to help. If you want to help, leave the baby birds on the ground. The same goes for deer. They're not a biological recording device either, or they're not a robotic deer. You see a baby deer out there in tall grass, usually that's where you're going to see them. The mother leaves them. They leave them for up to 10 or 11 hours to go feed. Then they come back. Don't touch the baby deer. It has not been abandoned. Everyone that does that is just making up this reason. I'm just going to take this home and bottle feed it and save it. You take that deer home and you're going to screw it for life. Legally, you can't keep it as a pet. And if it's released, it won't be able to survive. So the conservation department will come and put that deer down. You are not helping it. Know that. When you see the deer in the grass, it has not been abandoned, you idiot. The mother's probably like, it's not going to come around while you're standing there, I'll tell you that. And you're not going to see the deer. Why? Because they camouflage great. But she's probably watching you as you pick the deer up and you take the deer to your car. And then go to Tractor Supply to buy your baby bottle. Those people that do that on YouTube, you see that baby deer, know that they're not nice people. They aren't. They aren't. They're not nice people. Oh, it's always under the, I saved the deer. I saved the baby deer. That's always how it is. I saved the baby deer. They did not save the baby deer. They stole the baby deer from the mother. Unless you are driving down the road and you see the adult mother deer dead beside the road and a little baby fawn sitting there, you're making shit up. And if you do come across that situation, the mother deer is right there. You don't take it home and bottle feed it. You know what you do? You take it to an animal rehabilitator so that the animal can have a decent life, and the conservation department won't come and have to put it down. You don't know how to do it. You do not know how to do it. This is very specialized stuff. Leave that baby deer when you see it. It's beautiful. Get the hell out of there as quick as you can. One thing about them is that they don't have a lot of smell to them. This is true. I've been out in a field with Tonka, my GSP, and we'll be real close to him, and I can see the deer because I'm standing up higher, and he can't see it. He can't see it with his nose. Do you understand what I'm saying? He can't smell it. Baby deer have like no scent to them for that reason, so that the mother can just leave it in grass and go off and feed. She has to go feed. Up to like 10 hours. Don't think, listen, idiot, listen to me. Listen to me. Don't think that because you go and see a baby deer at 11 a.m. and then you want to go back and check on the baby deer at 2, that the mother abandoned it, idiot. The mother's still probably watching you. It's like 10 or 11 hours. They'll go feed and then come back. Did you hear anything I said, you, the person that is susceptible to this kind of nonsense? You want to help the deer? Then spread the word. Leave that goddamn deer in the fucking field. That goes for all wildlife. You're not qualified. And if something like that happens, you're supposed to take it to a rehabilitator. Seeing a baby deer out in the field nestled in grass is no reason to take that deer to a rehabilitator. Jerks. That's how I feel. I'm so irritated with people that do this. I'm so proud of my son. Look at my son. Look at him up there on that box of grape nuts. That's my son. Isn't he freaking awesome? Look at him. What's up, Soul? How you doing, brother? I mean, son. He's never had grape nuts. You want to try some grape nuts? He says he'd like to try it. What's up, brother? Huh? You're looking good. Solarton. Some guy saying, yeah, robins make great pets. Robins are protected by the Migratory Bird Act. Same thing as a deer. You cannot have it as a pet. Go nowhere. I generally just have everything delivered. Let me make sure I got my wallet. I'm not used to going places. So I'm going to Dollar General to get a few things. Literally a few things. One of them I sort of need right now, or I would, a chipmunk. I love those things. I would just send for it. And the thing that I need is DEET. I need like off bug repellent, because I was in my yard last night and it was miserable. And then I started looking around in the car and I didn't find any in here. I don't have any right now. And this area, like, it's only warm for a few months, it seems. I mean, we're just getting leaves on the trees. It's the end of May. Most of the trees have leaves. The pawpaw leaves are still real small, and they haven't fully flowered. So we don't have a huge problem like that. But in the summer, as soon as it starts getting warm, man, mosquitoes are real bad. They were biting my ankles. Maybe I got chiggers in my yard. I don't know. All I know is I was miserable. And if I can't produce stuff, if I can't do stuff, I feel terrible. So I have to get the off. My production, it's warm out, and I can do stuff in my barn. I can do stuff in my yard. But if I don't have bug spray, I don't want to go out at night. It's only a problem really at night. Like at night, that's when the mosquitoes come out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not headed in. Oh, look at that. The ground chipmunk's running. I hope he didn't make a thing. Oh, there he goes. He's on my porch. God, he's beautiful. Look at that little freak. I'm just going to get my shit and get out of here. I don't really think that I'm going to video in here. I think I just want to get my stuff and go. That is a bird I don't even think you can get a license for. Some wildlife you can have a license for education purposes. Maybe if you had some kind of bird sanctuary or so, I don't know. But it's easier to get like a license if you have a farm for some deer, some species of deer you can have, but you have to have a license. Like a mallard duck, you as check with your state, but in most states, you have to have a permit from the conservation department. The reason why you would be buying mallard ducks is because, say you have a not a farm, but you have a place where people go and hunt ducks. You can release ducks into that area, and then they'll come back and keep breeding. But you have to have a permit to do stuff like that. You can't just, you can't be at Arby's and you're in the drive-thru and there's some mallard ducks crossing in front of you. Run out and grab that mallard duck and keep it as a pet. If you want a pet duck, get a Peking. Buy this when I was in there. I'm short on tomatoes. I stirred tomatoes inside. I honestly, like, I don't think that I'm doing that again. Like when I would do that with the sunflowers, it didn't go well. The sunflowers are doing great. I just put them right in the ground. The watermelons I started early. Why? Why didn't I put pumpkins in just last week and they're huge. And the watermelons that I started early, like they're just like, it's sort of stunts their growth for a while, for a long time. So I bought these. I out of fertilizer, so I bought some of this, the Miracle Grow stuff. It's expensive. It's a ripoff sort of, but I need some fertilizer. And what else did I get? And looky. Look at what I got there. Good, right? I hear it all the time, about, because I have a pet raven. My raven is an African hybrid species. I bought him. People would ask me years ago, well, how do I find a raven or a crow? You don't. You buy one, idiot. And once again, if you find a baby bird on the ground, it's a baby raven or a crow, you can't keep it. And if there's feathers on it and it can hop, you leave it alone. That's how it is with a lot of birds. Like they live on the ground for a few days and then they sort of fly up, eating bugs and whatever, and the parents are close by. If you look around and go, where's the mother and father robin? You might not see it because it might be in a tree over there. Oh, and socks. I needed some socks, so I got these. There's some species that you can work with. Hey, there's a robin. Because they're invasive species. And they're not, like me, I'll work with birds that are not protected. A brown sparrow. A starling. That's fine. That's fine. If I wanted to keep them as a pet legally, I can. But I certainly am not, there's a robin's nest. And that's how I see it a lot on YouTube. There's some people in Canada that have crows, and they say that they keep finding them in their like alleyway or something. They have some excuse for it, but once again, in Canada, they don't have the Migratory Bird Act. They have something else. You can't keep native species. And so every year it seems like they're going out there finding baby crows and ravens and saying that they saved them. And the thing that really irritates me is that if you're going to exploit an animal, make sure that it's a domestic animal, not something that you shouldn't have in the first place. It's illegal. And be telling people that this is okay to do. It's not okay to do. It isn't. Those people that put those videos out in Canada with their raven or their crow, whatever they have, they're doing the wrong thing. They don't want to pay for a pet. They want to go out, look around on the ground for one because they know each year there's going to be, crows and ravens where, it's like if I wanted a robin, I could have a robin real easy. They're making up excuses. And then the thing that just makes me sick to my stomach about those people, they bill it as we saved the bird. No, you stole the bird. You stole the bird. Cut and dry. You stole the bird from its natural life. It's okay if it's bred in captivity. That's fine. That's fine. But to just go out and be like, I'm such the cheap bastard and I lack morals that I'm going to find a bird, then I'm going to do YouTube videos of my new pet robin that I found. That's crap, man. That's crap. And bill it as I saved this robin. I saved him. No, you didn't. You stole that robin. You stole the robin. Don't do that. It would be like me as a dog person, right? As a dog person. There's a lot of coyotes in this area. I'm going to get another dog, but instead, I'm going to go get a coyote. I'm going to climb in the den. I'm going to pull out one of the pups, and I'm going to keep it. The guy that's a tool was working in there. He's a real angry dude, too. I noticed that the day that he told me that it was all a hoax. He was very adamant about it, and he was very angry. And today, a guy went up to the register with this kid, and what he wanted to do was totally obnoxious. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to pay for a group of stuff, and then he wanted to pay for another group of stuff, right? Which is obnoxious. It is. Can't you just figure that out at home? It was only like $20 they spent total. So for me to be thinking that he was doing it because he needed a receipt, or said, it wouldn't matter anyway. You could just write off to the side on the receipt. You just want to cause the tool that works in there more work. And I can relate. So he said, the guy in line, he goes, I'd like to pay for this, and then I'd like to pay for this. Is that okay? And the guy goes, no, it's not. And then he just started grabbing his stuff and ringing it up. And the guy in line was just standing there sort of speechless and didn't say a word. Like, really, is it any big deal? I mean, you're working, okay? So you're at a place of work, and if a customer, maybe if there was a reason that had to do with the pandemic, but I really can't see a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what would be the reason? It doesn't really make any sense. It's more about like, no, I'm not working for you. I work for Dollar General. That's this guy's shitty attitude. And clearly he doesn't like his job. He doesn't. Now the manager was in there, and she's very nice. And she was in the back, right? She was in the back, and she came out with this smile on her face. She heard the guy say it. She heard him say it for sure. Like, it was like real, like, he's really got a really poor attitude. I'd hate to have to live with, like his wife or his kids or whatever. Like, that's your dad? The grump that thinks that it's a hoax? You know what he said? He said, well, this is in Italy. That's what he said. Well, it's not. It's not New York City either, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have a problem here. I'm not really a person that's into conspiracy theories, and some of them that are floating around, I don't really even know about. I see stuff about it, like on my channel. Somebody posted something like, birds aren't real, or those are government drones. And I see it, and I'm like, well, that's nonsense, so I just get rid of it. And then a friend of mine, she has a channel, the Pigeon Lady. She was talking about it, and I'm like, oh, so this is actually something. And then I typed it in, and I see that there's idiots that think that. And the people that think that are very similar to people that would think that the earth is flat. Or I could talk about political stuff, but I won't. But it seems like on the right, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff. There is some on the left that started, but really, it really comes from the right. It's all nonsense. It's nonsense. And to think that birds are not biological is absurd. And to think that we have the technology where we have, a drone that looks exactly like a bird and can fly like a bird, that doesn't exist. That's foolish. That is foolish. Birds are not a biological recording device. What? Why would I do that when I can have a Chihuahua? Or a lab? Or whatever. birds that are domesticated, dogs that are domesticated, they've been bred selectively. The coyote hasn't. I don't know what its temperament's going to be like. I could train it. But if I was going to do that, I'd go get a wolf hybrid, is what I would do. Don't pick up wildlife. One, what are we in? We're in a pandemic, right? Do you know how the pandemic started? Well, there you go. So why would you be picking up wild animals when you're not equipped? You know, you don't really know what you're doing. Wild animals can have diseases. Don't touch them. People that work with wild animals, this is the truth. Just, I don't want to scare you all. But you get a rabies vaccination for a human, that, like a vet, somebody that works with wild animals, they get a rabies vaccination just in case. You don't have that, so don't mess with the raccoon, idiot. Yes, that does infuriate me. How old is that kid, too? Why is that kid still in a diaper? That's infuriating. It's like 5 years old. The kid doesn't know how to, take a crap on a toilet? I've seen that before, too. That pisses me off. One, the dog is on a couch, so its status is confused. Its status is confused. And then the little baby human that isn't that much of a baby but is still wearing diapers is choking it and dominating it. There's no way they will keep that dog. That dog will bite that brat. It's on a couch, too. It's like, you have a dog up on a couch, it screws up its status. It starts seeing itself as an equal, and then it treats people like they're equals, like they're dogs. Like that little brat that's 5 years old and shouldn't be in a diaper. That kid's going to get bit, and then that dog will end up getting put down. And it's a white dog. It looks like a white boxer or a, white American bulldog. Man, they're known for being deaf. So then you have a deaf dog that's going to have issues anyway. And you have the baby human, not the baby, the small human that should be out of diapers, climbing up on the damn dog, choking it. Fuck. The person that wants to keep the raccoon, always like some kind of reason that they have to save the raccoon. Most places you can't even keep a raccoon. Most places in the United States that you can have a raccoon, it's all about training dogs. It's about, I think Tennessee, maybe, I don't know, you'd have to check, but it's about training your dogs to hunt. So, what are you in, like, I'm sure that if you're in Nashville, you probably can't have a raccoon. Well, I think that's one of those states you can have a raccoon. Maybe it's that, Kentucky, maybe, I don't know, Massachusetts. It's something, but there's a few states, maybe Pennsylvania, you can have it, but it has to do with dog training. But it's not going to make a good pet. It's like the idea of it. You like the idea of it, but then the reality isn't going to be how you think. That's like Sam the Raven. I love the guy, but like the reality of somebody that like just sort of like they like the myth of the raven, so they get one. Do you know how many birds live in cages their entire life in this country? At no point should that be the case. Like if the owner's afraid to open up the cage door and not deal with the bird, that's not good. Birds bite too. Remember that. Mango. I got a 21-year-old dog over here. Let me go get him. Mango, come here. Caine, I'm right here. Look at this old bastard. He's outliving everyone, aren't you, Mango? He is. He's outliving everybody. You're damn right I am, Caine. He is. He outlived Ike. He outlived all kinds of humans. How you doing that, Mango? I'm a vampire. Says he's a vampire. Look at him. We don't do a lot with Mango. We don't do a lot of grooming with Mango. You know why? Because he's 21. I don't think we ever did a lot of grooming with you, Mango. I just cut shit out of his hair every now and then. There's a robin again. Maybe they have babies back here. I gotta get out of here. That's another thing. If you have birds around and they're on the ground, don't put dogs in your backyard or whatever. Make sure that like this morning I came out and I looked on the ground to see if I saw any baby birds, and I did. There was a baby bird popping along the fence, so it was headed towards the back, that's where the adult robins take them, that way towards the woods, and so I put it up on the grape on the fence, and then it flew down. But I got it out of here because I had to get dogs out. Move the baby bird. That's another thing. Birds sense a smell. They're not going to smell your smell on their young birds. As soon as I put that doesn't, birds sense a smell? No, doesn't really exist. Once I put it down, the male came around and was instantly feeding it within like a minute and a half, something like that. So a baby deer, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Their sense of smell is like greater than a dog's. So shut up and don't touch it. Or if it's not greater than a dog's, it has a really good sense of smell, better than ours. Birds, baby birds, you could touch to move it away. The adult won't smell it. Mammals, there's a good chance. Don't touch the baby mammal, okay? Don't touch the avian species either. Just leave them alone. Did they have that brat climbing up on it? Is that someone you know? That's someone you know. Tell them that they're a fucking idiot. Do they love the dog? No, they don't, because they're letting their kid climb up on it